We all like to believe in our moral exceptionalism. This could never happen to me. I would definitely refuse to obey. These comforting thoughts help us feel secure, but the truth is far more terrifying. Psychological research shows that under certain conditions, the vast majority of us are capable of horrifying acts. These aren't just speculations, but scientifically proven facts, confirmed by dozens of experiments and historical examples. The phenomenon of ordinary people transforming into cruel executors of a system's will was thoroughly studied in the famous 1971 Stanford Prison Experiment. American psychologist Philip Zimbardo created a simulated prison in the basement of Stanford University. Participants, healthy, mentally stable students, were randomly divided into prisoners and guards. The experiment, planned to last 2 weeks, had to be terminated after just 6 days due to unexpectedly rapid escalation of cruelty. What happened in those few days? Yesterday's upstanding students, given authority, began exhibiting sadistic tendencies. They devised elaborate humiliations, forcing prisoners to clean toilets with bare hands, denying bathroom access, making them sleep on concrete floors without mattresses, and inventing degrading physical exercises. One guard, nicknamed John Wayne, later admitted he didn't recognize himself in that role, so dramatically had circumstances changed his behavior. A parallel psychological mechanism was revealed in Stanley Milgram's famous obedience experiment. Participants were told they were taking part in a memory study and had to administer electric shocks to a learner, actually an actor, for mistakes. The results were shocking. 65% of ordinary people were willing to shock a stranger up to the lethal 450 volts, simply because a man in a lab coat said, "Continue, this is necessary for science." The victims' screams and pleas for mercy didn't stop most participants when faced with an authoritative experimenter. These laboratory findings find terrifying real-world reflections. In 2004, the world saw photographs from Abu Ghraib prison where ordinary American soldiers abused Iraqi detainees. Among them was Private Charles Greener, before deployment, a family man who loved fishing and baseball. In the photos, he smiles while posing beside a pyramid of naked Iraqis. Later, he would say, "We were just having fun. They're not really people." This moment is key to understanding the nature of evil. Psychologists call this dehumanization, the process of stripping victims of human qualities in their tormentor's eyes. When people are called cockroaches, trash, or animals, it becomes psychologically easier to inflict suffering. Historical examples are horrifying. Nazis called Jews Untermenschen, subhumans. Rwandans referred to Tutsis as cockroaches. American soldiers in Vietnam called Viet Cong gooks. These aren't just words, but psychological tools to disable empathy. Yet why do some succumb while others resist? The answer lies in 3 key factors: obedience to authority, dehumanization, and diffused responsibility. When people feel they're not decision makers, just following orders. When victims are perceived as subhuman, they're not like us. And when responsibility is shared, everyone's doing it. Dangerous psychological mechanisms engage. However, there's another side to this coin. These same psychological principles can become foundations for heroism. In 2007, construction worker Wesley Autry didn't hesitate to leap onto New York subway tracks to save a stranger having a seizure. In 1943, Danes collectively wore yellow stars in solidarity with Jews, showing how collective resistance can defeat a system. What distinguishes heroes from perpetrators? Not innate qualities or special bravery, but several simple psychological principles. Awareness. This could happen to me too. Understanding one's own vulnerability to systems. Questioning. Is this really right? Critical thinking under pressure. Responsibility. If not me, then who? Willingness to act when others don't. Every day we face microscopic choices. Walk past suffering or help. Stay silent about injustice or speak up. Obey questionable orders or refuse. These seemingly insignificant decisions collectively determine what our world becomes. History teaches that evil rarely begins with gas chambers or mass shootings. It starts with silent complicity, small compromises with conscience, thoughts like, "Nothing depends on me," but good works the same way, through daily, often unnoticed decisions to remain human. Modern research shows resistance capability can be developed. It's not innate, but a trainable skill. Key components of this moral immunity: developing empathy, seeing humanity in everyone, practicing critical thinking, habitually questioning authority, cultivating personal responsibility, understanding every choice matters, studying history and psychology, recognizing manipulation mechanisms. Today, in the age of social media and information wars, these issues are more relevant than ever. New forms of dehumanization, trolling, cyberbullying, diffused responsibility in digital spaces, blind obedience to media authorities, all demand heightened moral vigilance from us. The final thought is simple yet profound. None of us are immune. Becoming a monster isn't a single act, but a process of countless small concessions to a system. But the reverse is equally true. Moral resilience is daily practice of small resistances, microscopic choices for humanity. Next time you face a choice, obey or resist, ignore or help. Remember, character forms in precisely such moments. Not grand declarations, but quiet daily decisions reveal who we truly are. So, where does this leave you? If this video unsettled you, good. That means you're paying attention. Smash that like button if you've realized how fragile morality really is. Subscribe, because we're just scratching the surface of humanity's darkest psychology. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming. Hit the bell so you'll be the first to witness our next experiment in human nature. Share this with someone who still blindly believes I'd never do evil. They need to see this more than anyone. The real question isn't, could this happen to you? But when will you notice it's happening? Stay vigilant. Stay human. I'll see you in the next mind-bending video.